Next up, I'd like to introduce you to the STEM protocol by Haitham Mengad.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to this talk about the STEMS protocol. So my name is Haitham. A little bit of background on me. I started working on crypto via Cosmos. I worked in open source. And my background is as a developer. So I worked in VC and startups. And the reason I'm interested in this project is because I love music. I like to freestyle rap, sing, produce. I want to preface the talk by saying that I don't think I'm an expert. The field evolves rapidly, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so what's wrong with music, with the music industry? Basically, a lot of factors go into making this a very inefficient ecosystem. I think three major factors kind of stand out. One is that most of the music you guys know is owned by three major labels, and you kind of need that to do anything in music. So 80% of the Spotify playlists are controlled by basically three major players. And then thanks to music production software and tools that are available for producers today, it's basically super competitive, very hard to make to kind of stand out. Every day, 60,000 songs are uploaded on Spotify, whereas only like 0.2% of the people on Spotify make a living from that. And then an under-discussed topic is internet piracy basically made all of music available for free for whoever knows how to do some basic kind of internet searching. And that has affected the growth of the kind of music sales and how it captures the value that creators are kind of making. So you can see this was in 2017. We're barely getting to the kind of vinyl levels in terms of sale, although the U.S. economy has grown since. But there is hope. This chart is like kind of 6 years old, so since then we've kind of gotten back to peak levels, and music streaming allows for some kind of more interesting functionalities with music, which leads me to Web3 kind of infrastructure for music. I'm focused on NFTs and what they kind of enable for music files and for the artists. So basically, for a very low additional effort, you can get a side income from the same file you created to make music by making it into an NFT, and that way you're kind of throwing it into the world as a building block that people can use to compose new things. So it's kind of very composable, and then whoever is involved can be rewarded transparently. And there's this kind of very interesting kind of intimacy to the relationship between fans who own the NFT of an artist and the artist. So we're actually focusing on stems. Stems are layers of a song, so it's like the different instrument tracks that compose a song. We're focusing on those as NFTs because we see that there's some kind of interesting mechanisms that can be enabled with that. So you can have like the rights, music rights at the stem level, which is very interesting, and you can facilitate like more kind of collaboration at the granular kind of instrument level, which is also powerful. And then there's a natural hierarchy to stems. So think of your favorite, I don't know, like Drake song or any song you're listening to at the moment. There's probably one of the instruments or one of the like parts of it that resonates more for you. And if you were to collect it, you'd want to get that piece, like instead of another kind of like a background snare or like a uninteresting instrument. So basically, what we do with these stems is we allow artists to drop a song in the form of its stems. So each part is kind of an NFT, and then we run a remix competition, so a game around these stems to kind of incentivize more content being made from those kind of layers. And then the resulting song is also an NFT, and you can basically trace it back on the blockchain. So you can know who used this guitar riff from the 1970s. Like as soon as it's put on this protocol, you can see how it evolves over time, basically. It's a little bit more technical, but basically how this is done in the blockchain is we represent a lot of these entities like artists, stem, song, etc. as entities in the blockchain. So we have a smart contract to create a project which is either one artist or a group of artists, that can then release stuff, release collections of stems, and those stem NFTs can be traced back from another smart contract that represents the collaboration song, so the song NFT. Basically, the kind of too long don't read is, as an artist, you release your stems on the blockchain, and then people can use them, make music on the blockchain that is linking back to your stems. So this talk is about the protocol, not the platform that we're building. I'm one of the co-founders of Stems. We're building Stems.art also. It's a platform to wrap around the protocol, but the idea is to build an agnostic mechanism that people can use for linking, whether they want to interact with our UI or just do it permissionlessly on their own. So it's all, like the code is obviously, smart contract code is always open source. And I don't know if people here know of this paradigm, but it's pretty popular in Web3. So you can think of the Ethereum protocol as the thing you run if you run Ethereum on your computer. And then when you interact with it via MetaMask or any other client, you're actually using a UI that's ran by a company. So obviously, like, these rules are cool and everything, but if nobody's using this this mechanism to link music, there's no interesting music on it. So we're aware that our main goal is to grow the user base, and we're still very early. So 220 million Ethereum addresses currently, which you can estimate maybe a third of that is unique people, versus like 600 million music streaming users. So not only do we need to capture all the unique people that are already kind of Web3 savvy, but we also need to onboard the next wave of, like, the next billion users, and that's kind of a problem for the entire, like a challenge for the entire ecosystem to solve. In the case of Bitcoin and Ethereum, they grew thanks to strong incentives, like financial incentives. In our case, we think good UI, UX, and just removing friction around crypto interactions is really the key to get normal people to consume content and produce content on our platform. And yeah, I want to close this with some like open-ended challenges and just interesting things to think about from the perspective of building on a decentralized protocol. So Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, posted about the friction and the hurdles around using a wallet and like anecdotal experiences with that. We're very focused on trying to eliminate that, so that if you tell your friend about this thing, they don't need to spend 2 hours learning 15 different other things before they can even interact with it. And then there's also the question of like, what is the actual value of these NFTs? Like, why do they get purchased? We've seen a drop in music NFT sales that was probably initially boosted by the market itself. It's unclear there's real traction around what value they create, but we're excited about having an actual mechanism that gives them value, not just selling them for speculation. And then we're also obviously exploring the difference between Web 2 and Web 3 is also in the business model. So OpenSea notoriously had a transaction fee to buy NFTs. And then Blur came to be, and they kind of follow more of the tokenized ownership model to create value. And they completely ate the market share of OpenSea, so OpenSea had to kind of drop their fee. So just an interesting thing for us to think about. We're basically trying to combine these two approaches to make the most for the artists, really. We don't want to remove the Web 2 kind of fiat payment route, but we want to give them ownership as well. And that's basically it. Thank you. Thank you, guys.